Humans are priests and doctors. They don't belong on the battlefield. Written by DWL 522. When we sent out that call for aid, we were at our most desperate hour. The alien horde was cresting the far edge of the valley and headed directly for the city. All our hope seemed to die just as we were about to. I watched from one of the many elevated guard towers as the monsters slammed into the city's outer walls, hundreds of bodies crushing into each other, killing their own below their own feet, just for a chance to be the first to land a killing blow upon us. I watched in horror as their dying below slowly built a ramp for them to climb up and over the outer walls. Upon seeing this, the guard to my right promptly placed the barrel of his gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger before I could order him to stop. Deep down, I couldn't blame him. We all had seen the horror these beasts left behind them, saw the recovered vidlogs, and watched as they literally tore their prey apart or spit acid on them that caused the victims to melt into a puddle. Nobody should have died like that. As I watched the beasts climb over the walls and start moving into the city below me, I too prepared to join my fellow subordinate in death. As the commanding prefect, it's considered dishonorable to die by suicide while facing an enemy force. At least it is with every enemy except the horde. Against them, we have orders to not be taken alive, and suicide is expected. I place the barrel of my gun to the side of my head, prepared to do my duty, when I hear the crackle of my radio breaking through the static. I lower my gun in disbelief. Has help arrived? The words came through my radio on the open channels, all garbled and non-intelligent before the translators kicked on. Thoran Legion, this is Captain McAllister of the Terran Union ship, Afterlife's Forever Decision. We will be making groundfall in a few minutes. Please hold fast. Are you kidding me? The soldier to my left yells. We are about to be overrun by the horde, and our only help is from the race of medics and preachers. I had thought all hope died when I saw the beasts climbing over the wall. I was wrong. Hearing that our only help was coming from those cowards who just preach about peace, well, that officially killed it, with a noted twinge of embarrassment that our own people retreated while they came to help. I pick up my radio and respond to the human captain. Captain McAllister, this is Prefect Rotawn. We appreciate your response to our call for aid. However, it comes too late. Please stay in orbit. There is no point in all of us dying. Please record the horde's movements and transmit the data to the Galactic Council. Hopefully they can learn from our defeat. My request goes unanswered. From my elevated position, I was able to see the human ship break through the atmosphere and hover far above the city. From its sides, two large white bird-like transports detach and glide to the ground. Even from here, I can see the red plus sign the humans use to distinguish medical transport, painted on the sides and wings of the white bird. I didn't even see the smaller black birds flying alongside them until they broke off and raced ahead of the bigger ones. Thankfully, they seemed to be heading to the spaceport, right where we had round up the civilians of the city. Perhaps there is a chance to save a few. They disappear behind the distant buildings, and I hope these preachers can bring my people with them when they leave. Before I could return my attention to the horde again, those black birds emerged from behind the buildings and crossed the distance to my command tower in only a few heartbeats. It didn't dawn on me just how big these black birds were, until one of them was landing on the edge of my tower. The thing was 5 times the size of a standard squad transport. The clawed feet pierce the floor plates and squeeze them as the metal black bird sits down, lowering its belly to the floor. A panel below its head opens and swings down, revealing a ramp and door large enough for 3 grown grass grazers to walk in side by side. If these small ones were this big, how large were those white ones? From the belly of the bird, 3 humans in black clothing come walking out with a brisk pace. As they get closer, I notice that the clothing is in fact an armor of some kind, and each has a patch stenciled onto their right shoulder pauldron. In white paint is the image of an animal with a long muzzle and long pointed ears. The head sits upon a bipedal body with 2 arms. In one hand is a human skull, and the other is a piece of farming equipment. Following quickly behind these 3 was a female Klaxion, a translator. The soldier trio and the translator jog over to me. The middle one gives a salute to me before speaking. Bak woof ik barus ba clicks. It's barking words, not translating. That must be the reason for the klaxion. Greetings, Prefect, she says. I'm translator QE. I'll be translating for the humans. This is Warrant Officer Phillips. He's here to reinforce you. Reinforce? Reinforce! No, you need to retreat. Get out of here. The horde has already climbed the walls. Translator Kyowa does her job, and the three humans start barking, their mouths hanging open, baring their teeth. The two on either side stop this noise, but the middle one keeps going, making long sighing sounds as he barks. Reknes vir gar root nisha. Philip says, retreat, hell, we just got here. Some more barking. We will be deploying along your towers here and start the pushback. If you have anyone at ground level, I suggest you order them to start climbing. What? What? I ask. Surely there is no way these humans are going to fight the horde. Oh, how wrong I was. Turns out the humans have recently made a war pact with the Ceruleans as well as the Gonk. Both are a warlike tribe. The Ceruleans specialize in mechanical warfare, while the Gonk are beasts of immense size, muscle, and ferocity. Using the Gonk's build, the Ceruleans' mechs, and the humans' tactics, the horde took a beating the likes of which made me almost feel sorry for them. Almost. The retaliation assault started when the blackbirds flew low to the ground and released a red liquid into the city. It quickly evaporated into thick clouds of gas, noxium, they called it. The horde who had gotten into the city simply melted into a thick purple puddle of fluids. Their screams loud enough to cause the horde outside to pause their assault. That was the first turning point. The second was when these same blackbirds then flew over the exterior of the city and released small discs that spun and flew down at the horde. They buried themselves into the beasts like saw blades before they exploded and coated the entire area in flames. Even from so far away, I swear I could feel the heat. The blackbirds then flew over to the other guard towers, opened their bellies, and dropped Gonk troopers down onto them. These were not the normal 8 feet tall Gonks, though. No, these were 12 feet tall Gonks in power armor and equipped with chemical rockets and massive multi-projectile launchers. These projectile launchers started spinning around the main barrel of the weapon, and as we watched, began to spit little metal pellets at the horde at such an incredible speed that they actually seemed to cut the horde members in half. Alongside these Gonks, regular humans deployed in similar style armor and weapons, dealing out just as much, if not more, brutality than the Gonks. My men and I watched as within minutes we were replaced as the sole fighters in this campaign. Sure, my men had laser rifles and were dealing out as much damage as they could. They had been trained for accuracy and making each shot count. These humans, though, they seemed to adapt a spray and pray method for dealing with the horde's larger numbers. Pray. It made a sixth sense. These deity worshippers were praying to their gods that their attacks would work. The scary part is, it was working. We watched as wave upon wave of the horde were cut down, burned, melted, cut in half, and trampled upon. It wasn't until the human barked again that I realized I'd been staring at the destruction with my mouth hanging open. Cuve had said something, but I was too taken aback to catch what she said. My apologies, can you repeat that? He said, we should probably start pulling back to the spaceport. Why? I managed to squeak out. The ship's about to launch an orbital strike. We don't want to be here when it hits. Whoever it was that said that humans do not belong on a battlefield, they were correct. These humans didn't belong on the battlefield. It belonged to them. It wasn't until much later, after the civilians and my soldiers were loaded up on their transports and on our way back to their ship, that it even occurred to me to ask, it is said humans are priests and medics, but you came in and not only fought back against the horde, but held them off for us to leave. Have we gotten your species wrong? Yes and no, Q says before translating, to Warrant Officer Phillips. She gets a response, and as she translates, the orbital strike hits, illuminating his eyes and drowning me in fear as I see the truth in them. No, Prefect, you're not wrong. We mainly are medics and priests. However, the god we serve is the god of death, and our prayers come in the form of dead enemies. Once I learned their alphabet, I learned our translator devices got their initial message wrong. The name of the ship was not Afterlife's Forever Decision, it was Hell's Eternal Judgment, and it was the host to the Grim Reaper Special Forces.